We're good. Oh, we're live. Shit.
We're on?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Good. Welcome, you guys. Meme Knowledge, back in that ass. Here we are once again. We're here to talk about very important topics. We got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about election drama. We've got AOC has a challenger, but so does Nancy Pelosi, and we're going to talk about them both. We're also going to talk about the debates, Mike Gravel, and all the other deep and important topics that touch your soul. I'm with my host,
Prince Hayes. Hey, really quick. I don't know if we're live on YouTube.
Says you guys are.
No, are we through Soapbox Heroes is the question.
right? Because we get a notification.
Yep, me too.
Are we on the right?
Oh, we are live. Okay, never mind.
Oh, here we are.
Sorry.
We
Sorry,
can
everybody.
see ourselves.
We just had to make sure because last week we made a mistake. So please share. Turn that down.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they down y'all producer. I'm
Hey,
D on the ones and twos. I'm getting better at this, y'all.
all right.
Let them do what they do. Y'all enjoy this here. We got a great show for y'all lined
Hey,
up.
shout out to my barber. Looking good.
Sharp, bro. Looking real sharp. Little color combination looking good too, blue and black. You boys are on deck tonight, fellas.
Appreciate it.
Pause.
Hey, I want to ask everybody out there to please share the video right now. I am doing it currently.
Hit the like as you come through the door.
Please do.
Yes.
Let's do it.
There you go. Shout out to Tyrone, man. He's doing his production thing. So if you're into cigars and liquor, hit up Tyrone because apparently he's got the good stuff in the cabinet, and it ain't watered down. It ain't that stuff we used to steal from the big gallon from Albertsons when it was Lucky's.
Shit.
I remember those days.
Alpha Beta.
Man. But it was a Safeway. I'm taking far back Safeway.
Hey, and cigars. I mean, I don't know. I used to be into a cigar here and there once in a while, but
I definitely can't do no cigars, man. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I keep this shit. I like my lips to be pink for as long as possible, and my liver as well to be.
Right.
I want my liver to be as pink as long as possible.
definitely you kick those bad habits. You know what I mean? I'm gonna help trying to lose some weight.
Oh yeah, man, you looking solid nowadays. I meant to tell you. I know I told you that the other day, but yeah, my man lost. He look like he done lost a lot of weight.
I done lost about 15 good pounds, man. And
Nice.
Just going hard in the gym.
Just
eating
don't
a little
find
bit
him
better, drinking a little less beer.
Little diet. You can do your diet, bro.
Michelob Ultra, only 64 calories.
That's right.
You guys owe us for the plug, by the way.
Yep.
Oh my goodness! I wish you could do that. Just shout people out, and then they have to pay you afterwards. That's all. We would have a show just shouting people out.
Famous rappers do that.
Oh God. PD Pablo.
He said, whatchamacallit said he put Wrangler on his booty and then he got a deal.
Wow, right?
Holy heck.
I still feel like Wrangler is the guy that he was dating when he decided to come out the closet, but that's just my personal opinion.
Hey, he ain't gay. I'm going to say, I don't think he gay. My wife pointed it out. She was like, yeah, I think he trolling. I think he trolling too, man. Until I see him suck a dick. No, I'm just playing. Until I see him kiss or hug or so he got to do something physical.
He's got to go total Pete Buttigieg up.
Yeah, he got to kiss. If he kiss a dude on the forehead, I believe it. Because that's like the most intimate shit you
ever so gently.
Ever so gently. If I see him like
feathery touch to the forehead.
If I see him give him a nice solid kiss to the forehead.
You know what? I'm cool. I'll read about it. But I'm really straight. I'll
take either one. I'll take a read or a C. But yeah, I'm not just gonna believe it on GP.
You know.
But let's get to it, man. So we want to talk about Nancy Pelosi getting primary by the man's name is Shahid Buttar.
Yes.
If I'm saying that correct.
Shahid Buttar, and this dude is dope. We're gonna just go ahead and play the video. Let it speak for itself.
Give me a second, y'all. I'm gonna get that loaded live up for you.
Shahid is. I don't know if you guys know this about Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi is out of San Francisco.
The 12th district. In
12,
California.
yeah. So San Francisco is, for all intents and purposes, they say progressive, right? I have my doubts about San Francisco being an actual progressive city. In this regard, Nancy Pelosi has been representing them
I
for
think
so
when
long.
they say progressive, I think they mean progressive by comparison, because the nation itself is not there yet
Yeah.
in terms of progression and from their politics anyway. And then, but California is considered more progressive than the rest of the nation, which California just depends on where you're at in terms of progressiveness. And then that area is considered the
Really progressive,
progressive
but
part of a progressive
I would
state.
argue that the most progressive state right now, by far, is Colorado.
Colorado, definitely.
By far.
I think Washington is still more progressive than California.
Me too.
And then, and hey, I don't know, maybe Minnesota. You seeing like
Minnesota's pretty solid. Minnesota is solid, definitely, because they have cities in Minnesota. But I think, the same thing with Colorado. Like Colorado is very, and I don't mean this when we talk about like in a literal sense, but it's very black and white. So there's a lot of evangelicals. I think it has like the highest number of evangelicals per capita in Colorado, and then but it also is a very progressive state, because the thing that you have to consider, that we have to keep in mind, is that a lot of the stuff that everybody, those are populist. It's not necessarily progressive. You know, like healthcare for all isn't really progressive. It's a populist topic. It's a populist policy. It's not a, you know what I mean?
It's
not
associated with progressive politicians.
Yes, with progressive politicians. Well, and then when you get into that, I'm like, how many truly progressive politicians are there? There's not many.
Right.
You know?
And I say that if you're, I mean, even in California, which is supposed to be a progressive state, I think that if you're talking about progressive politicians, you pretty much get Ro Khanna and you get,
The governor is, I would say, 70-30. I would say he's 70. I would say Gavin Newsom is 70% progressive.
He is definitely, you know what, when he came out against the way his positioning is against the rail, which
Yeah.
I feel like was a way for the Democrats to basically waste money, or to money grab for big transportation. Because out in California, we've got Caltrans, we've got big transportation. It's a big business out here, and it's big problems because it's run by the state. So it's a government money grab in terms of transportation.
Yeah.
And I think that because Gavin Newsom has actually stood up to that,
That showed a lot about
who he is, But at the same time, to me, your establishment until proven otherwise.
Oh no, for sure. That's what I was saying. 70-30.
Especially if you win an election out here.
Yes, especially if you win an election. So I got my doubts about Gavin Newsom, but yeah, I don't.
Jury's still out.
I don't
Jury's
think
still out.
that
He's
bad.
new. He's got a chance. Jury's still out.
But Shahid is basically running on a similar platform as Bernie, Medicare for all, free college tuition.
Do we have the video? Did you lose the video?
I'm looking for it, y'all. Give me a second. Shahid Buhar. How do I spell his last name, y'all?
Shahid, SHAHID for change.us.
There we go.
That's his website.
But yeah, so he's running on a very similar platform as Bernie Sanders. He actually, in the video, you'll see he uses Bernie Sanders clips, or a clip from Bernie Sanders. I
He
should say.
actually refers to himself as a democratic socialist.
Yes, and that's very important too.
Definitely.
The guy is awesome. I would like to get him on the show at some point in time if we could.
Yeah.
I think he has a lot to say, and he's brown, so that's cool.
Right.
I dig that about him. He's not an old white man, because everybody likes to play the identity politics. I don't.
He
care.
looks like San Francisco.
He looks like he definitely looks like San Francisco down to the man bun. But I think that's a sheik would have his hair wrapped.
Right. I don't think he's
Yeah, I don't think it's a religious thing. I don't know.
He seems very secular, but
He seems really secular, absolutely, and that's a good thing. If you guys don't know that about us, we are very secular.
super secular.
I'm too secular for the shirt. I don't believe in it. So, And we got to separate church from state. It's really important.
And and these, you know what, you got like a violation, like a constant violation of the Sixth Amendment going, where you've got these religious tests, where like people want to get under your clothes about your religion or what you are. Like Tulsi Gabbard, for instance. Tulsi Gabbard, I'm pretty sure she's a Hindi. She's raised in a Christian home, but she's adopted Hindi as an adult because her mom is, or you know what I mean? Yeah, Hindi. And she,
no, she's not Hindi. She's actually she's a Christian. She practices.
But she basically, you know, it's a mixture. She's got her own spirituality. She's obviously a spiritual person. Yeah. And you know, it's almost like that matters to some people. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think it should matter.
Got y'all the video loaded up. You
okay, ready? Let's do it.
Let's let y'all tune in and see what the man has to say.
That the underlying principles of our government will not be greed, will not be kleptocracy, will not be hatred or violence.
Watch out, Washington. We the people are coming to take back Congress. And we're bringing with us some big ideas like Medicare for All and the Green New Deal. We did it in New York. We did it in Minnesota. We're doing it on the national stage, and now we're bringing that voice back to San Francisco. My name's Shahid Buttar. I'm running for Congress. I'm an immigrant. I'm a Muslim. I grew up in rural Missouri. When I was 16 years old, my family lost our house as I graduated from high school. I got my undergrad degree while working full-time after 10 years of night school. I went to Stanford to study and teach law. I've fought for your rights for 20 years, from San Francisco to Washington, D.C. as a constitutional lawyer, policy advocate, writer, educator, and grassroots organizer. And now I'm running to serve the people of San Francisco by fighting corporate corruption in Congress. We don't have the corporate cash that's kept Nancy Pelosi in office for 30 years. In fact, we just don't take corporate money. That's why we're mobilizing the community, meeting in living rooms and neighborhood centers, why we're out in the streets fighting for change, demanding universal health care, fighting for your children and grandchildren's right to a future free from climate crisis.
Here we go. Killing me, YouTube. You're killing me, YouTube.
And a
Here we
government
go.
for,
Sorry, fellas.
and by the people instead of the 1%. A voice for school teachers, working class families, and immigrants, the 99%. This movement is just getting started. After 30 years of the same representation, San Francisco deserves a champion willing to return our city to the front lines of the progressive movement. Our city stands for inclusion and pride, peace and justice, and environmental sustainability. We can't wait another 30 years for our leaders to evolve on climate change. Delay is no better than denial. The time for action was yesterday. America is the only advanced country in the world where getting sick can leave you homeless, and higher education buries people in debt for the rest of their lives. The only voices we need in Congress are ones who will take action to fix that. You have a choice. Either let profit-driven corporations destroy our future, or instead vote to reclaim this country for the people. Vote for Shahid Buttar in the March 2020 primary, and join our campaign in the meantime. We can protect the future, and we must. I'm Shahid Buttar. I approve this message, and I invite your support.
Yes, we need to give that man some money. We got we gotta help him out, man. That was awesome. He is clearly a true progressive. Mm-hmm. And almost at this point, anybody that's willing to primary Nancy Pelosi, right, I would feel like would be better than Nancy Pelosi.
Now, here's a question: if Pelosi is primaried and she loses, mm-hmm, who do you think should be Speaker of the House?
That's a good question. I think the next.
I don't think they should just go next guy up.
Well, I mean, that's what they're gonna do, though.
You think that's how they're gonna vote?
I think so, but maybe they won't. Maybe they won't, because here's the thing. I think that if Pelosi loses and Bernie gets into office, I think that exactly what you had predicted a while ago, which was the party will split, I think that will happen. And if the party splits, then who knows who will end up being the,
So Kevin McCarthy is the current House Majority Whip, and so he would be the next guy in line from California's 23rd district.
Steve
So-
Scalise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know who they should pick who
Oh.
they.
James Clyburn is the Majority Whip at this time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know who the next person up would be, but like I said, I would hope that if she loses, it would kind of change the fabric of the party, and if Bernie win, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I think it's gonna set like a ripple effect.
Clyburn's
And
South Carolina 6th. But I don't think that the Justice Democrats automatically take leadership.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I think it is gonna put a really big fracture in the party, and the Democratic Party, as we know it, being the party of the corporatists and not the people, the working class. I think it's gonna be like the days are gonna be numbered for that. You know what I'm saying? So whether the Democrats, the Socialist Democrats break from that party, or if the corporatists break, one of the two. I think the corporatists break though, because at that point that means that we would be taken over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't know.
I would love to see a legitimate Socialist Democratic Party
Yeah, that would be dope.
like that. To me would be that right there is the closest thing we have to a serious threat at a third party.
Yeah, for sure. And I would actually identify as a socialist. You know what I'm saying? Like I would sign up for that. I would be like a democratic socialist. I should say.
Right. I'd have a straight card. I'd probably be a straight card carrying.
Yeah, for
I thought
sure.
about joining there because they do have a party. You know what I mean? It's just not a third party in the sense of that they control enough seats, or anything like that. Because I was thinking about joining the party as it was already, but I'm not in no rush to join a political party.
No, not at all. It's not Mando.
It's not necessary. Yeah, this is America.
Yep.
We don't have to. We're not going to get thrown in the gulag if we don't get the communist card or whatever.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
At least not today.
Yeah, not yet.
Hey, don't lose your.
We know they've got a gulag.
Don't lose your naturalization out here. You'll find out the hard way.
No, I'm not. I'm born this way. I'm a born American. I don't have a naturalization.
Shit, I ain't born. I'm born. I'm an Aboriginal.
I'm not 21. I'm not 21 Savage. You know what I mean?
You can fly.
Yeah.
So Nancy Pelosi is getting primary. That is awesome, to say the least. She's terrible. She's a right wing, very conservative, representative. She doesn't represent the people.
She's not a true opposition to Trump.
She's a lay down.
It's almost like this. You got things that the conservative party wants to do, and Nancy Pelosi is down with those things. But she always wanted these things to get done. But now she's so terrible. She now has somebody in Trump that she can point at and say, "Oh, you see what this guy did? You see what this guy did?" But she's not really giving an opposition to the things that he's actually doing.
No.
She's talking about stuff that he does, like if he does something dumb.
Yes.
Or something like that. Or he insults her, she insults him back. Like to show she's tough. But she doesn't buck him on issues. She rolls with them. She tries to compromise. And nothing was more prevalent, and it was never more apparent than on this bill to give money to the Border Patrol. And how they did that. They put no caveats, no contingencies on giving this money to the Republicans. They just basically wrote a check for billions to the Republicans. And it went down like this. They had a perfectly good bill come out of the House of Representatives. Once Mitch McConnell looked at this bill, now Nancy should be thrilled when Mitch McConnell doesn't like something, because it means you're doing the right thing, right? You're offering true opposition to the Republican Party. right? Whether people agree, whatever, not just oppose the Republican Party. Just show another side of the story, right?
Yeah.
So Mitch McConnell says, no, we're not gonna do this, but we've got our own bill. He passed his own bill in Congress, the one that, and
Ended
then
up
instead
ultimately
of
fighting.
Nancy fighting and saying, well, we'll sign it if you do this and this, or just add this and this.
Yeah.
She signed it as is. She
rolled
wrote
over.
off on it as is, rolled over, caved to the pressure. What pressure? There wasn't really no pressure because they didn't have to do anything. And so they got a conservative bill passed in when this is a crisis, you guys. I don't know, there's some of those a border crisis. There wasn't a border crisis until they created one.
Yeah.
This is the border crisis.
Yeah.
And now we have two parties that are working in conjunction with one another to do that.
And the crazy part about it is that she's acting, not she, but the Democratic Party is acting as if they're on the side of the immigrants because they want the immigrant vote. They're doing the same thing they do with black people, with any marginalized group, with women, with gays. You know what I'm saying? They pay lip service, but then when you actually get to like the policies, you're like, wait. If you're really on our side, then why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, so if I was an immigrant or a descendant of an immigrant, and I looked at what she just did and how she just caved to the Republicans, I would be like totally put off. Like, okay, that's a telltale sign. She's not on our side. She's not going to fight for us. Boom. Dead in the water. But I'm sure that, a lot of the immigrants are still going to.
Or I would,
Democrat,
and that's the
like
thing
people.
is the reason they're still voting Democrat is because there are actually people that fly the same banner, Democrat, that actually do stand up.
Yeah.
Because
But,
Nancy Pelosi
for her,
didn't,
though.
right? But I wouldn't vote for her.
Yeah.
Maybe even if they would, maybe they would vote for her because what was the whole kick when Omar and Presley and AOC when they came in?
To leave and everything.
Do you remember the magazine cover?
No.
And they had them three, and they had Nancy Pelosi standing there in like the progressive,
Yeah.
like she's a progressive. But see, that's the whole thing that they're trying to present Pelosi as a progressive, but an older. She's
Yeah.
an older woman, and she's a leader, and she's like an older one, and she's happy. Like she's happy that there's a Ilhan Omar or a Presley or a AOC in it, and she's absolutely not happy. The reason she's not happy because she knows that if this movement takes hold, a progressive movement, a true progressive movement, a true left, a true opposition to Trump, there's no need for a Nancy Pelosi anymore.
Yeah.
And she's a dinosaur, and she's getting pulled into the Brea tar pits, and she's fighting for her
Kicking and
life,
screaming.
kicking and screaming, to the point where she hates that young movement so much that she would rather side with Trump and vote with Trump than to side with them or to back them up.
Because it's just the corporate Democrats is anybody but a progressive. So because Democrats are already Republican, you know what I'm saying? They're already right wing anyway. Like we don't have a real left in this country, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't have really many left policies and so on and so forth, politicians. So it makes perfect sense. Another telltale sign about Pelosi not being on anybody's side, any working class person's side is she's always trying to cross the aisle, right? She's always working across bridges or whatever they call it. She's trying to bridge the gap between the Republicans and the Democrats or whatever. But fuck them, right? Like I don't want to work with them. I want them to hate everything that I do. I want them to oppose everything that I do because I know I'm doing something right. And with that being said, I kind of want to talk about AOC being, she's not being primary. She is
Not at this point.
Not at this point. There's a threat of somebody primarying her, but she's not being primary yet. They hate AOC. They want to get AOC out. They want to get Ilhan Omar out. They hate them. Those two women, they hate the most.
Right.
Then Presley, then Rashida Tlaib, then Ro Khan, whatever, right? But they hate AOC and they hate Ilhan Omar. And when I say they, I mean corporate Democrats, the right, the whatever, and all those other people. But so I want to show this video of this lady who is a black. Hold on, I'm not gonna even. I want to roll the video, and I want you guys to look at
Her name is Cherie Murray, and
Yeah.
she is going to be running against AOC
She- as a
for
Republican.
As a Republican
Yeah.
party.
And you guys tell me, what do you notice about this?
All right.
Bridges, they fill our skyline. Rising above our city, their arches are more than stone and steel. They connect us. They help us move forward and cross from place to place. That's why we build bridges, to be connected to one another.
Sorry.
Bridges, they fill our skyline. Rising above our city, their arches are more than stone and steel. They connect us. They help us move forward and cross from place to place. That's why we build bridges.
Kill the producer, y'all.
How do we get these? How do we get these full screen?
I ain't do it full screen. It's just I have to actually get it to pick up what I'm trying to do. These is not what I want. That's why. All right. Sorry, y'all. Enjoy.
Bridges, they fill our skyline. Rising above our city, their arches are more than stone and steel. They connect us. They help us move forward and cross from place to place. That's why we build bridges, to be connected to one another.
I'm Cherie Murray. I was 9 years old when I came to America with my family. We migrated from Jamaica.
From my first job working as an intern at the New York City MTA Jamaica Bus Depot, to attending City University, then opening a business and helping minority men and women find employment in the media, to becoming a mother and a community leader, I've been building bridges and crossing them my whole life. I've built bridges between constituents in our community and elected officials that represent them, between different nationalities and races, and between political parties. Lawmakers should be working together to build a stronger, safer, more prosperous America. But your representative in Washington chooses self-promotion over service, conflict over constituents, resistance over assistance. Queens and the Bronx need someone who will create jobs instead of turning them away. Someone to unite the fight in Washington and help you build
She-
the bridge to a better future for yourself.
She thinks this
instead
makes
of
her
Hey,
look
that's
bad.
enough. Stop the tape.
for herself.
You killed the feed.
Kill this. Yeah, stop that.
Fighting for the minority.
Stop that shit.
You deserve someone who will focus on immigration, infrastructure.
Yeah, we good.
Yeah.
So it's funny because this lady thought that showing those images of AOC being fiery was supposed to make her look bad somehow. but-
Wait, isn't that New York? That's why they love AOC.
Yeah, I don't
because
understand
AOC's
it.
with the damn business.
Yeah, I didn't get that at all. Like, what is she gonna be sitting there whispering in a goddamn meeting when people are dying in cages? Like, what the fuck? I don't understand.
You guys in the comments, man. You guys make comment, man. What do you guys think of AOC? First of all, I just want to know because AOC is extremely popular, and when you go at someone extreme, this is politics 101. If you're going at someone in a company that's extremely popular, you don't say their name. It's like this. Let me give you a good example. If I go up to a girl, she's real hot, and she got a boyfriend. The one thing I don't want to ask you is, do you got a man? I don't want to mention your man. I'm not going to hate on your man. I'm not going to say nothing. You're going to be the one that bring him up if it's important to you. But if you don't say nothing, I ain't saying nothing. We're not talking about your man. Why? Your man is very popular with you. He's your man. If I start talking bad about him, I'm probably
You
gonna
gonna
be.
lose.
You instantly gonna get
I can't
defensive.
get at you.
Yeah,
I'm a hater.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm not a man trying to get at you. I'm a
Yeah.
hater. Or if you know what I mean, if I bring him up at all, just hey, you got a man?
yeah.
Yeah, yes I do. He's very popular. Now I know I've got, you know what I mean? I got some.
The whole thing is for you to make your case to
Right.
the girl, right? It's like why are you good? Not why are you better than her man? Just why are you good in general? Like,
Exactly.
what do you have to offer? So
Then she'll tell me if she got a man, and that's the reason.
yeah, that's funny. Yeah,
But if she don't bring it up, she might want to be sneaky.
yeah, exactly.
Don't bring up AOC. That's the first advice I would give to her as her campaign manager. And obviously, her campaign manager doesn't have enough sense to say, we're not going to bring up
Especially
AOC.
not now.
Especially not now. She's
Yeah, it's really
very
early.
popular in Queens.
And also, why?
She's very popular. Period.
Yeah, for sure. She's like the second or third most popular politician in America right now. But but the thing that's funny about the video is, or about what she was saying, what policy did you hear her mention?
Not one.
I didn't hear her mention any policies, right? Like she went on this, she made a 2.5 minute video basically about how AOC is out for self.
Right.
And she doesn't care about people, which AOC's, but she couldn't do that on her record on how AOC votes. The only thing she tried to highlight was AOC saying, hey, Jeff Bezos, we're not going to give you tax breaks.
And that was the dumbest thing ever because guess what? Amazon is in New York now without the tax breaks. They came anyway because New York is a very good place to have your business because it's a lot of people there. There's a lot of workers, like a lot of skilled workers there, a lot of
And a lot of
executives.
business there too. Just like a lot of people
Educated
get shit. I'm saying, just like why wouldn't you want to have distribution centers and stuff like that in you know what I mean? Like it's New York. Like tons of people are buying shit there
And
too.
on top of that, New York got a way better deal because they didn't put the headquarters there. Because the headquarters, for you guys that want to understand what we're talking about, Amazon was going to bring their headquarters, build
To
a
New
corporate headquarters to New York City. AOC was one of the people that fought against that happening, and then eventually came to that New York did not want them there.
They were supposed to give them
their
some like
office.
tax cuts and stuff.
Because
and she
that
was like, no.
That corporate headquarters would not have been employing mostly New Yorkers. It would have
Yeah.
been relocating people from outside of New York to work in their corporate headquarters. People that they already, promote from within. But they built that corporate headquarters, ended up making it in Alexandria, Virginia. Then they came to New York anyway, and now they're hiring New Yorkers.
Yep.
So AOC was right.
She won twice.
And then if you look at Alexandria, Virginia, where they have the corporate headquarters and they brought people in, they didn't hire Alexandrians, and the housing prices are out of control out there right now because of all the new people that have moved in, competing for the housing that
Drove up the prices of the house.
Exactly.
And all the people that
Well-paid-
came to Amazon
well-paid
had, they
Amazon
have money.
executives.
Yeah, they got money. So
And I bet you one thing you gonna know for sure. Everybody that didn't lose their house business and or didn't have to pay increased pricing because Amazon moved in New York gonna vote for who?
they'll vote for AOC.
AOC. Because she was right. And then what did Cherie just do? You fucked up, right?
Yeah.
You brought up an issue that you really don't want to take on AOC on. But that's the thing about Republicans, especially running in places that are largely Democrat or liberal places. They got nothing.
Yep.
This isn't really a setup to win. This is the Republicans the only thing we can do here is we gotta play identity politics with them.
That was what I asked. That's why I asked, what did you guys notice about her? Is that she's a black woman,
Right.
right? AOC is a woman of. I don't like that woman of color, people of color bullshit because they'll try to say they'll try to say a Chinese person is a person of color, and I'm like, that's not a person of color. That's a fucking Chinese person.
Person of color is as much an experience as it is a
Moniker.
ethnicity.
Yeah, for sure. The only people of color in this country is black people and Mexican people. Them the only people I'll allow to be lumped in a group of people.
I don't know. I
of color.
would say that some of like a lot of it just depends. Like if you are working class, like working class Arabs,
They're not people of color. They
To
don't.
me,
They don't experience
I think-
anything like black people. They don't get racially profiled like black people do by the police. They don't get. They don't lose out on jobs. They don't lose out on scholarships. No number support that they're living the same lives that we're living. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Like, they don't have the same experience we do. I didn't mean to say Mexicans, but Mexicans for sure. Black people, Mexican people, but if you want to go ethnically speaking, Puerto Ricans, yeah, all of them, Dominicans, whatever, they all going through that shit.
Islanders, not all islanders, because one thing that I did notice was a talk that was given by your friend and mine. What's the dude? Gosh, he's the race guy. The dude worked rights for Quillette. He was on the reparations panel in Congress.
Coates?
Not Coates. He's the other guy. Hughes. Coleman Hughes.
Oh,
And Coleman Hughes compared, because his whole thing is, which I agree to a certain extent, is about, the racial disparity is not just about discrimination, but it's also about culture.
Yeah.
And he says that one of the ways that he says that you can prove this is through first generation, like Jamaicans, Haitians, and things of that nature. Because you can't tell if Prince or I said we were Jamaican or Haitian, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You couldn't tell the difference between a Jamaican, Haitian, or African American first generation. Like Cherie, she's a Jamaican, she's a first generation Jamaican. Her parents are from Jamaica. She's from here. She speaks and carries herself like a regular African American.
I thought she was born in Jamaica. No, she was born in Jamaica.
Oh, okay, well
she's literally an immigrant. Yeah.
Oh, okay, but she's living the African American experience.
Yes.
You can't tell the difference if you just run into her on the street.
Yeah, no, for
if
sure.
the police saw her, she's not
she would
a
get
Jamaican.
profiled. Yeah,
she's
she would get
right.
profiled.
It's not like an African, like an Amadou Diallo or something like that.
Yeah, like a Nigerian.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't tell the difference. So, but they do much better.
Yeah, for sure.
Than African Americans, and he points to culture, meaning that because he says that those people of those cultures are more socially conservative and are more like stay in the house, they're more education driven, and the ones that come over here aren't the ones the poorest, they're the best, like the best of the best. The hardest working ones work their way over here, and then they raise up hardworking children, or your kids are a product of you.
Yeah.
So he points to that to say, it's not a color thing, it's not a race thing, which to throw out the baby with the bathwater on that, I think is foolish. But he does have some point to it. I don't, it
definitely
as
is.
much as I can agree with Coleman Hughes, man. A lot of stuff is.
Yeah, he definitely had a point, and definitely black people, the African Americans make African Americans in this country have a different experience than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And maybe not even from from the people in power or whatever. We might get all treated the same. But if you're Jamaican and your mom and your dad are at home, and you know what I'm saying, because they weren't targeted, you know what I mean, like because they came over here. It wasn't like they were raised here. They came over here. So they're already adults. So they missed the crack epidemic. They missed the fucking over policing. You know what I mean? They missed all of that stuff. And then they come over here and they got the mom and dad. Even if they grow up in the same hood as you, more than likely that kid is gonna have a better chance than somebody like me, who dad wasn't there, who mama was barely. You know what I mean? Like it's just a different dynamic. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely. But overall, she doesn't stand a chance against AOC. I think AOC is going to smash her. AOC at this point isn't being primary. So go back to our original thing. Pelosi is being primary in San Francisco, for those of you that don't know. And AOC is being challenged by a right-wing black Jamaican immigrant woman.
Right. So that's another reflection of what Hughes was talking about, of that that social conservatism.
Yeah. Oh, they're super, super conservative.
She's a business owner and things of that nature. You know, something I guess is not super common in New York for black people.
No, I think Jamaican. I follow her on Twitter, and she's writing along. She falls right in line. She's Mr. President. He's the greatest. Trump's the best thing since sliced bread. Like
so she's a Candace Owens you can tolerate.
Yeah. I can't tolerate her, but yeah, I looked her up. It's a weird. It's gonna be a weird thing. So, but I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see that.
I'm excited for it too, because I know that Fox is going to do their shit when it comes to that, and I'm just gonna watch it as it develops, because it's new. She just started running. It's kind of new, but people, especially in New York, understand the things that you got to get done in Congress right now. Things like Medicare for all, things like student loan forgiveness, things of that nature. And they understand that who you have to have the seats. You got to have the seats in order to get that done. And AOC is one of the seats. When we're talking about climate change and things of that nature, she's one of the seats.
And she holds a lot of sway with the country, and they fear her to some extent because they know that she got the ears and the hearts of a lot of the young people in different places.
And she's compelling. She excites you to be part of the process.
Absolutely.
Now think about it like this: do you think that because the reason that Trump is attacking these Justice Democrats, these women, is because they don't have like a Republican? There's not a Republican counterpart to that. There's no Republican that you can think of that makes you excited besides Trump to get up and go vote.
Yes.
If you're a conservative, Trump.
No.
Trump is exciting enough for all of them. If you're a conservative,
Trump, I give Trump no credit, and I'm not underestimating him either because Trump is an idiot, but Trump is good at certain things. You could be stupid as hell, generally speaking, and be good at certain things at the same time, right? So when Trump attacks them, he's attacking them from the gut. That's a visceral reaction for him because he hates women and he hates black people, brown people, non-white people. Just generally speaking, he doesn't respect us. He thinks we're from shithole, countries and shithole cities and whatever you want to call it. He wouldn't let us count his money, which I've read that he said stuff like that about black people. But
when he was running, back in I want to say the 70s and 80s, when him and his father when his father was still alive, they used to go into their jobs or their hotels. Black people were told to go in the back.
Yeah,
he didn't even want to see them.
Was dad for sure, but yeah, for sure. But he's racist as hell. So
Russell Brand said it real eloquently. My friend always says this. Russell Brand said it really eloquently about Trump. Yeah, he's a cunt, but I don't think he's putting it on.
No,
simply put.
Yeah.
He is what he is.
He is what he is, man.
He is who we thought he was.
I'm tired of people giving him like this pass, like he's a genius. Like I'm like, you guys really think he's that smart? He's not that smart.
No.
Like, and that's what I'm saying. That's the genius about it is that he taps into that bass, like in his bass, he taps into that like beating heart that's deep in that bass that's like, yeah, I hate the others. Fuck black people. I gotta get mine. Send her back. Like that, like
all that stuff that you feel like between the Me Too movement and other things, Barack Obama becoming president.
Yeah.
All those things you felt like you had to suppress. You do not have to suppress them anymore. Oh, political correctness? No, like
no.
What
you
the word political correct? There's a reason to term, but
and send them back where they come from now. And you don't have to feel bad about saying that if you're part of that base.
But there's a reason for that term, politically correct,
right?
Because there was a politically incorrect, and people were speaking incorrect. Now, politically correct, it used to just mean saying things, addressing people the way they wish to be addressed.
Yeah,
that's what it used to be. Now, I'm not overly into that overly political correct stuff because I think that people have run with it past the initial.
People abuse it. People co-opt
right.
all movements.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like every movement gets co-opted.
But what I'm saying is, though, now they use it as like, oh, you want to be PC? Like, you don't want to be a SJW? And they brand these things in a way, it's like, wait a minute, because it's gotten out of control to a certain extent, they've used that to their advantage. It's almost like a judo flip on the terminology that has caused a backlash, and then everybody that just was at critical mass now has a way to outlet that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That. And it was always because it's always going to be this underlying current of racism in America. There's nothing going to be able to get rid of it. Stop trying to fight the fact that you stop trying to change it. Just acknowledge it and move with the fact that it's happening.
Yeah.
Combat it.
Change the system. Fuck the people. I don't care if you hate me. I don't care if you dislike my nappy hair.
Exactly.
I don't give a fuck about that. Just give me my money. And don't beat me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't try to lynch me. Don't try to fucking put me next to fucking pig slop farm. And you know what I'm saying? No. These things we absolutely cannot have.
I can tolerate racism from the people and the neighbors. I cannot tolerate it from the government.
Political
Yeah.
racism. No.
I cannot
Social.
tolerate it. We can fight it when it's in the government. When it's in the people, though, let that fly.
Yeah, I
let
don't give a
those
fuck
people
about
be who they want to be. Let them be racist.
Yeah. So today, the Trump did a rally, right? And he, his people were yelling out, "Send
her back,
send her back," talking about Ilhan Omar, that type of stuff. I mean, like, that shit looked like Nazi Germany. We're at a fever pitch right now. So the question is, what are we gonna do about it, right? As regular citizens that have a fucking half a brain and a heart, what are we gonna do? But his base is ready for war, man. Like his base is ready to physically get into a fight, I feel like everybody else, we don't even know there is a fight. We're trying to get this motherfucker impeached and shit like that. Like, I'm like, what are you guys doing, man? That shit is not gonna work. Like literally, you can't get him impeached. I'm glad they got killed today, by the way.
Yeah.
And for those of you who think impeaching Trump is a good idea, it's not. Don't let the media. That shit is to sell tickets, man. The media is fucking with you. They know Trump can't get impeached. They know the Senate would never let it go down.
Right.
Even if Nancy Pelosi pushed it and got it, and then, but what would end up happening is ultimately, the Congress would say, yes, let's move forward with impeachment. Then they would go to the Senate, and the Senate would basically exonerate him, and then Trump would be able to come out and say, see, I'm not guilty. You know what I'm saying? Like,
There was nothing in the report.
There
They're
was
still
nothing.
coming after me. There was no collusion, and not only on top of that, there was no obstruction.
So
we just
that would be terrible. It would just that if they don't impeach, you still have that hanging out there. Not the impeachment part, but like the doubt is out there. You know what I'm saying? Like is he guilty? Is he not guilty? You know what I mean? Like that. You keep that illusion up, right?
Well, hold on. Let me ask y'all both a question. Of the crime that they're trying to impeach him from, which is bigotry,
No.
is he?
No.
That's the literal crime that I read that they were trying
That's
to.
not
They
a
were
crime.
trying him on.
No, they weren't trying to.
As a president, it is. As a president, it is because you cannot be partial to one race.
No.
Under what statute?
No. They weren't trying to impeach
not
him
a law.
over that. They were trying to impeach him over
Obstruction
of justice, which they would have had to have proven that. Okay, so there was no proof that he actually did collude with the Russians.
No.
Right.
Well, I mean, they closed the case as well. They also closed the case on him having hush money and things.
Yeah.
of that nature.
So nothing was proven. None of that was proven, right? It was actually they didn't prove.
But no, the reason I'm telling you
they
they
didn't
were
even
really
move on
going at him
that.
about bigotry is because this was the first time the House actually passed a resolution condemning his hate language.
Yeah, but that's
because of
Yeah,
the
that's
Those are
different.
two different
though. Yeah,
things.
those two
Those are two
different
different
things. That condemning shit is. I think they condemned him on some other shit earlier.
Yeah,
Like
condemning
they,
is
But
condemning.
it's the first time they passed a resolution on it. Because it was literally before they started the vote on the impeachment, they passed the vote on the resolution
Right.
condemning
Yeah,
somebody
no,
censure.
moved. Somebody moved. His name's Al Green, Representative
Yes.
Al Green, moved for impeachment because he thought he would have the momentum behind the condemnation
Yeah,
to get
before
the
the-
vote.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
And then
But it didn't pan out.
they had to pack his shit.
Because what y'all are saying is exactly right. You can't condemn him for bigotry because you still have
You
to
can
honor the
condemn him for
first.
that. You can't impeach
I
him.
was going to say you can't impeach him for that because you still have to honor the First Amendment, which
Yes.
is the right to free speech.
Right.
well, to a certain extent, because if he was out there saying,
He's not calling it violence.
He's not calling it violence yet.
Right.
But yeah. So Trump getting impeached is that's just let that shit go. Don't even. We should be just focused on getting him out and getting him. Not just getting Trump out, because I'm not any blue will do, and we did an episode on that already, so I don't want to relive and rehash all of that shit. But not just getting Trump out, but getting the right person in there. You know what I'm saying? Because it makes no sense if we get Trump out and a Biden shows up,
Right.
or fucking Kamala Harris shows up, or Elizabeth Warren shows up.
If you want Pence 2024, then go ahead and elect
Yeah,
Biden or Kamala Harris.
Absolutely.
But then let's look at it like this too. What can the Democrats do? Because see what's going on right now is they're not doing what they know they can do, which is aggressive oversight. When they first got in 2018 and they first took it out, a lot of oversight was going on. They've been a lot less aggressive on oversight because they've been distracted by these little side things, right? Infights and the side things.
Mostly the side things.
Mostly the side things, though, because they can
I
do
think
that.
They can multitask with that shit.
That's family meeting type shit. But they need to erode away they need to expose the administration so that when people want to vote, it's a no-brainer.
Yes.
They need to expose the administration for what it is.
Absolutely.
Because when it comes to the most important issues coming up in this election, and it's like I was telling you before, D, yesterday, the Republicans suck on every single important issue coming up in this election. They suck on the environment.
Really do.
They suck on Medicare, on healthcare. Period. They suck. Basically, this is just an attempt to change the narrative, to make the debates and make the election about something else, to make it an indictment on immigration. They want immigration to be the number one thing. Why? Because it's the one thing that energizes their base, polarizes the people, and gives Trump the best chance to win, when immigration is the one thing you're thinking of when you go to that ballot box. If you're thinking about healthcare when you go to that ballot box, whether you're Republican or Democrat, Trump loses. If you're thinking about the environment when you go to that ballot box, whether you're Republican or Democrat, Trump loses. He cannot win on the issues.
Nope.
He has to politicize something that is not political. This is not a political issue that's going on with these immigrants and these migrants right now. It's a human rights issue. But when they make it political, what happens is now people are taking that to the ballot box with them. And when they do that, that's going to give Trump the best chance to win, because he's perceived as what he's doing. There's a certain group of people that just perceive it as, well, he's tough on immigration.
Yeah,
He's securing our border.
I think he's like a 90. He's like a 90% approval rating in his party. Like, yeah, I think it's like 90% if I'm not.
And it's around this immigration thing. They got some traction with it, and they're running with it. And what we've got to do is we need someone that is tough to go against Trump, right? That can make it about the issues. That's why you can't vote Biden. Because Biden is the kind of guy that is not going to, he wants to talk as little as possible.
Yeah.
He just wants you to think, oh, that was Obama's guy, and I'm an Obama guy, and I want to, that's what he wants
And
you to
also
do.
that Obama shit against Biden won't work because because Trump's base fucking hated Obama. So if he brings up Obama, that's not going to get his base. Like, also, you don't need to get Republicans to vote for you if you're a Democrat to win. You need to get young people and independents to vote for you. You there's not enough Republicans to beat independents and young people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you get young people to come out and vote, you don't need old people, because they're the biggest voting block right now is young people under 40 years old. We're the biggest voting block right now. So if you can get us to get up and vote for you, you will win in a landslide.
Right.
The question is that will Biden get those voters out there? And the answer is across the board, it's no. And the reason why we say that is because Joe Biden, for an example, we were talking about this earlier. He's lying about healthcare. He's lying about healthcare for all. Which is the number one issue that most Americans care about, right? It's the number one issue. So it's not immigration, believe it or not, even though the media is wall to wall about immigration. If you talk to normal everyday people, they don't give a fuck about immigration.
Right.
They care about healthcare for all. They care about college. They care about the environment. Those are for sure, without a doubt. Jobs, things of that nature, right? So Joe Biden is telling a lie. He's basically saying that if we move forward with healthcare for all, we will kick off like 160 million people from their current health insurance.
Right.
It's a lie.
That's a lie.
You won't get kicked off of it will be replaced by a better healthcare plan, which will be paid for by the government, which will be paid for by taxpayers, obviously, but will be paid for by the government, and they will ultimately eliminate private insurance, and that's what he doesn't want because he works for Big Pharma. He works for the private insurance company.
Over the years, they've donated tons of money to his campaign.
Oh, like 1.5 I read today. He's gotten tons of money from Big Pharma.
Right.
I think if I remember reading something, he said it's not his goal to reform Obamacare.
No, he wants to build on it.
He wants to build on it. He just wants to get it right.
Well, the next step that they keep saying that for Obamacare is the public option, which if the next step was a public option, then when Obama promised that he would go back after he compromised and bent over for the Republicans on Medicare, on Obamacare, and then promised that it was being incrementalist as he was,
Yes.
right? Oh, I'm going to go back and fight for the public option, but he never ever brought up any kind of legislation, was never introduced, never said anything about a public option after they passed Obamacare.
Yep.
See, the thing is, there is no extension of Obamacare. Let's put it this way: they can come up with something weird because he's never said what he's going to do to extend Obamacare.
We said public option.
Oh, public.
Yeah, that's what
but
I'm
a
saying.
public option is still going to leave millions of people without health insurance.
Yeah.
So if your whole idea is to get in a position where everyone has health insurance,
That's not gonna get it done.
You're only gonna
You're
get
just
it
giving
done
them
for
an
people that can
option. Why
afford
would
it.
you give everybody an option? Why would you just give everybody fucking health insurance? That's crazy talk. And so Joe Biden is lying, and the youth knows it because we don't watch MSNBC. You guys watch people like us. You guys watch people that are telling you, giving you the straight dope. That ain't out here fucking lying because we don't work for anybody. We work for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like we work for ourselves. We work for our family. So yeah, as long as the internet exists, you know what I'm saying, for the time being, and as long as we have access to these social media sites that we do for the time being, then you know some version of the truth or the majority of the truth will be out there.
You on YouTube, I don't know.
Yeah, YouTube is getting terrible, but
Don't trust the algorithms. That's all you gotta know there.
I'm not even worried about the algorithm so much as the fact that they're serving who they're serving, which is they're starting to serve big corporate interests because they're finding that there's more money in it for them.
absolutely.
YouTube was bought by Google. You knew that was coming.
So yeah, and that's another thing. Biden's not. Betty was talking about student loan forgiveness. Biden doesn't have a plan for student loan forgiveness at all. Only Elizabeth Warren and Bernie are talking about student loan forgiveness, and she's not even saying it completely. Bernie's saying it completely.
And let me just give you a little bit of a difference there. When you're talking about the student loan forgiveness, so the crazy thing about it is it has to be across the board. Why does it have to be across the board? Because across the board depoliticizes it automatically. It takes the politics out of it because it doesn't matter who you are. If you were rich and you had debt, they paid it off. But most rich people have paid off their debt. You know what I mean?
Well, they never had.
Or
it.
never had it. But if you're upper middle class and you
Yeah.
have debt, it's gone. If
Pete
you're
Buttigieg-
lower middle class, you have debt and it's gone.
Pete-
But when
Pete-
you make it about, oh, I don't want to pay for a rich person's college.
Yeah, they already pay for their college. Don't worry about
They're
that.
gonna go to a private
go to
school.
private college.
If they decide to go to a public school,
Then fuck it. Who cares?
yeah, why would?
Because how many millionaires are there in America? Let's say there's 100,000 millionaires, and you spread that, and 10,000 of their kids want to go to college, and
public college?
No, not public. I'm just saying in general. 10,000 of their kids go to college, and 1,000 of them want to go to public college. Cool. We'll pay for that. I'll be all right with that. I don't give a fuck. Because to every taxpayer, what does that equal? Like a fraction of a penny, a household? Like I don't care. That's fine.
Because when you do that, you again, because it's not just about the closing the gap between the rich and poor. It's about bringing rich people and poor people together. But they're not interested in that.
Nope.
But when you take certain things out and say, well, we have a right to health care and we're going to make Medicare for all, so we depoliticize it.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody has a right to education. So we're going to make education free for everybody that wants to go to a public school. An American public school is going to be free for them. You depoliticize it. Nobody has to look and like, oh, those are the rich kids, those are the poor kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It oh, you're just going for free because you're poor.
Yeah.
You depoliticize it.
It's like
you bring people together when you depoliticize things.
It's like how in high school or in school they made everybody wear uniforms because a part of that is so that people don't get bullied.
Right.
If you think about it, right? Like now it's not about your style. Like oh damn, that's a dope shirt, and I'm dressing like this, and people looking at me like, oh look at Prince wearing that funny shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like if everybody got on blue slacks and a
affects
white
your
shirt,
school work,
yeah,
your school experience.
and all that stuff. So and it's the same theory. It's like if everybody is going to college for free, then it's or if everybody's getting free lunch, then there's no like oh well, you got a free lunch and like making fun of you because you got lunch tickets or whatever. Like you got to pull out your lunch ticket and be embarrassed at lunchtime. It's like no, we're all eating for free, so nobody knows. It's all good, right? That's where we need to get to, is just where everybody is just taken care of. That way, there is no stigma.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like only in America is the word welfare even bad. You know what I'm saying? Like nowhere else in the world, like welfare is dope.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you go to Europe and you bring up the world welfare, they're like, yeah, fuck yeah, give me my fucking welfare. Absolutely. I'm talking about working class people, middle people got money, people who
If
don't
I
know.
got it
Yeah.
coming to me, give it.
Yeah, give me what you
owe
owe
to
me.
Europe for that. You can go right up above. You can go just a little bit north to Canada.
Yeah, Canada. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, but
I get
everybody.
what you're saying,
Yeah,
but
they
yeah.
love. Everybody loves welfare. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not a
The
bad
word itself, welfare.
Yeah.
You're okay.
You're
You're
okay.
good.
Okay.
We got you.
But because it's been politicized and we have never come to a consensus that everybody has the right to eat.
Yep.
In America, we've never just said, you know what, it's one of the we got a freedom of speech, but you got to have a freedom. Do you understand? People don't understand in America that if you want your constitutional rights to really be in full for every American and equity in those constitutional rights, there are certain positive rights that you have to have on the other side of that. As in, if you want freedom of speech, true freedom of speech, you have to understand that education is a right.
Absolutely.
Because a kid, they can only express themselves in so many ways. But when you educate that child, all the thoughts that come in their head, they're going to be able to articulate those. They're going to be able to think for themselves. They're going to be able to freely speak to the full potential that they have. But when you deny education to certain groups of people, you are stifling and taking away their freedom of speech. Like that's how elitists would have it. They want those type of things. Oh, they feel like them and theirs. They deserve those things because somehow being rich makes you a better human.
Yeah, they want to maintain. They want to maintain their lead,
Right.
but then also they want to keep the working class not smart enough to be able to overthrow them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Just
that's
smart enough to sign the paperwork,
Yeah.
run the machines,
Yeah.
clock in, clock out, go home, take care of your family, and don't worry about the affairs. Don't worry about the giraffe affairs, you turtles.
Now, speaking of Biden, let's bring up the polls because Biden is slipping. He's in the what's the song from my man Tom Petty? He's free falling.
Free
He free falling, bro.
falling.
He's in a free fall. Bernie is coming up. Bernie's on the come up, creeping on the come up, like Bone Thug said. And Elizabeth Warren's doing well, and Kamala Harris is doing well. But
Well, Kamala Harris is almost like she had the surge, and now it's kind of
yeah,
pulling back.
because she don't have much because her policies aren't there. So she's basically gonna bank on every single. This is my theory. She's banking on a big moment to score a haymaker punch in every single debate to keep her numbers, going up. Because once you start digging and start looking at her policies and you look at her track record for those people who don't know who she is, her shit is paper thin. Like she is she was terrible.
She's never been anything but a prosecutor on whatever level, though. She went from, she's just been a prosecutor her whole career, political career, to a political prosecutor. And now those chickens have come home to roost. A lot of the decisions she made are real problems, and she's gonna have to deal with. But the thing is, she did raise $12 million last quarter. She does have the vote. She's in it for the long haul.
Yep.
And one thing about Kamala that makes her dangerous, she really is a fighter. I mean, she's fighting for the wrong things, but she's a fighter. She's good at that debate thing.
Yeah,
good
she's
at
super duper smart. Like once again, just because you're smart doesn't mean you're good at the job. Just because you're smart doesn't mean you're good. You're good for the people. So let's check out these polls real quick. I want you guys to see what we see. So first thing I want to express is that for those of you who don't know how these polls work, they don't poll everybody. They don't poll that many people under 45. And the reason why they don't do that or how they don't do that is these polls are conducted mainly through, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, through landlines. So they're calling people's landlines. I don't have a landline. I don't even have a phone. Like I have a, you know what I'm saying? Like if I wanted to, I could hook up my phone and have my whatever phone, working or whatever, my cordless phone working, but I let my kids play with it. They broke it. Like I don't have a landline. So the majority of people who have landlines are 55 and older. If you just do the math, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's who they are calling. That's who they are talking to, and the majority of those people are Biden. You know what I'm saying? Secondly, nobody that's been ahead this early in the polls that has ever won the election. So, you know, we take that with a grain of salt. We don't know what that means.
I remember about this time, last Trump was in
2016.
third place, 2016
Yeah.
right now. Clinton was like in fourth place.
Yeah, shit. Bernie was down 45 points when the election started in 2015. I mean.
And the more you get to talking, the more that gap closed.
So Biden is what poll are we looking at right here? The
Based on the top one,
This
I'm
is
looking
the-
at
these are
Economist,
the
YouGov. YouGov has Biden up by 9.
That's the closest one. No, that's the Economist, right? They have
Yeah,
him
it's
up by
Economist,
now.
I'm sorry.
And
Quinnipiac has Harris up by 2, though.
yeah, some of these have Warren being in second place and so on and so forth. But like I said, I personally I find it hard to believe that Bernie isn't winning right now. I just find it hard to believe. I was asking Robert earlier before we started the show. I was like, do you think if the election started today that Bernie will win? And he said no. He said he thinks Biden will win. And the reason why I think Bernie will win, and the reason why I think Bernie is winning, is because of the donations. He has over 1 million people on the ground, so he has a grassroots movement, and he's getting the most money from all the candidates. To me, that is fuck a poll.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
The polls had Hillary beating Trump
Yeah, like fuck a
the
poll.
day before. Before the election.
It was really close though, by the way.
Yeah.
Hillary beating Trump was always close. But yeah, I don't care about a poll per se, but it's fun to look at them. The main thing to take away from this, the reason why we want to highlight this, is to show that the more Biden talks and the more you see Biden, the more his numbers will slip.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Kamala Harris, if she's not throwing haymakers in the ring, her numbers will slip. Elizabeth Warren is the most viable candidate. I think Bernie should, when Biden just totally falls off and the plug is pulled on him completely, I think he should just turn his attention and solely focus on Elizabeth Warren and her record, her shitty record.
You know, because of the success that Kamala Harris had in the debate, look for a lot of haymakers being look for a yang maker. Look for a Gillibrand tried to throw some haymakers. Like, she came out the gate yapping.
But her arms is too short to hot box with guys. So
Right. But look for her. She's fighting for her political life, not because she's gonna have to make a decision on if she's gonna defend her
drop
seat.
out and run, yeah.
Drop out and defend her seat, because that might be up for grabs. Beto, he's another guy that he needs to decide between now and November, is he going to continue in his presidential run, because he does have enough money for the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
He does have the third debate already wrapped up, but also in November, because of the debates in November, also in November is the deadline for that Texas Senate seat that he could possibly run for and win. He does have a good chance of winning.
Against Ted Cruz. Yeah, he could beat Ted Cruz. I think he could.
No, it's not Ted Cruz. It's the other Senate seat.
Oh.
Ted Cruz, once you win a Senate seat, it's 6 years.
Oh, it's 6 years. I'm sorry. He just, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're right. But it alternates, though.
Right.
It alternates. I
So
forgot
he's
my fault.
he does have a chance at the other Senate seat.
Yeah.
Now, Yang is actually, he's down to under $900,000.
Yeah, his shit's drying up.
He's drying up.
But you still want to see Yang on stage. I don't mind seeing him on stage.
I don't mind, but he's got to come up big in this debate. He's got to come up big.
Hopefully his mic is on. Now let's talk about the new person to the party, invited to the party, Mr. Mike Gravel.
Mr. Mike Gravel.
Mike Gravel is like an 80-something-year-old ex-senator, if I'm not mistaken. Right? He's an ex-senator.
Yeah.
Do we have Mike Gravel's campaign video? We want to show you Mike Gravel's campaign video. It is hilarious. If you ask me, I think it was awesome. So I can't wait for you guys to see it, and
Well,
hopefully
he's the former senator from Alaska, Mike
Yeah.
Gravel.
Mike Gravel is
He ran in
nice.
2008 for president, as a matter of fact. So he ran against Obama.
Love life. He said Crooked Hillary. Crooked Hillary, yes, that is her name. We know Hillary is extremely crooked, but so is Kamala Harris, and so is Joe Biden.
You know, Tulsi raised a lot of money this quarter.
She
And,
did.
Yeah, and even though, I just think that she's got a rabid fan base,
She does.
and they're going to keep her monetarily in the game. You know, but she's.
I am not for free.
I think she's another person looking for a haymaker.
Yeah, for sure. She had a good performance, and she got into a heated, back and forth with old boy from Delaney. No, it wasn't Delaney. It was old boy from Ohio. I forget his name right now, but yeah, that dude needs to drop out too. I think he did drop out, right? The dude from Ohio, maybe not. I don't know. People aren't dropping out, man. It's definitely a setup. I think I'm smelling something fishy. So
We getting this live. We getting it loaded up for you.
we getting this squared away. We gonna watch this Mike Gravel video. He goes after Joe Biden like we've never seen. Like I like it. I wish Bernie did a video like that.
Right.
I wish Bernie.
And that's
was like
not all.
that.
He's also a tweet from Senator Mike Gravel 2 days ago.
He don't tweet, just for the record.
We are the 15th campaign to qualify via grassroots donors. What does that mean? Candidates like @Hickenlooper and @John Delaney, despite millions in funding, are unable to scrape together any serious supporters. Almost no one backs their campaigns, yet they exclude Mike.
Hey Betty, Ted Cruz almost lost to Beto, right?
Yeah.
Was it close?
Nah, not.
It wasn't
not-
that close.
It appeared very close because there was a lot of arm waving.
And then in the
And
end,
then
Cruz
Cruz
like
destroyed-
sat on him.
Cruz
Okay.
destroyed.
So you're right,
Beat
Betty.
him handily.
I remember it was a lot of hoopla leading up to when actual election day.
People
but
wanted, it was like a Beto kind of like
like a fervor.
he was good ratings for the mainstream media,
Absolutely.
so they pumped him up, and then there was a song that was playing in the background of the election election day. It was in the background that Cruz was playing. It was I think it was Punks Jump Up to Get Beat Down. That was the name of the song. Because Cruz basically whooped his ass.
Lion Ted.
Right.
I love that guy. All right, so let's get into this Mike Gravel video, y'all. This shit's funny.
Much love, Mike
But
Gravel.
let's maybe bring up the topic of the day, which is the Green New Deal.
How much will this cost? That's unclear. How will we pay for it? Unknown.
It's not realistic.
Because there's no way to pay for it.
It's immoral.
The younger generation now tells me how tough things are. Give me a break. No. I have no empathy.
I'm guided by the beauty of our weapons.
I think Medicare for all is one of the possible paths.
So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. This is a little controversial. Yeah.
She did ask you yes or no. Would you support free college for all?
I am not for free 4-year college for all. No.
Somebody start clapping?
This isn't even the video, by the way. I've seen this video, and this video is crazy too. This is funny. Cool ass Mike.
Beings are being killed as I speak to you tonight. Killed as a direct result of policy decisions we as a body have made.
This approach of war on drugs has not succeeded. We've spent billions of dollars on it.
And we fill up our prisons to the point where we're the embarrassment of the world. We're supposed to be a democracy. We've got more people in prison, 2.3 million people in prison.
We spend more as a nation on defense than all the rest of them.
This isn't the video. I want to show that was dope. That was awesome. You get a feeling of what Mike Gravel is about. You see how he just went. The funny thing about what he does that I think is super dope is that he doesn't like. These politicians are so bad that he just uses their words against them.
Right.
Like he doesn't have to do like the other that what's her name, Sharice or whatever, the girl that's like trying to run, the woman that's trying to run against AOC eventually. She didn't use like clips of AOC actually saying anything. Right. Because she knows that would hit. That would actually be a score for AOC if she like played back what she says.
Her, right.
If you hear what she says in the passion in her voice, it'd be like, oh yeah, this is dope. Like, who doesn't want her? Right. Mike Gravel and anybody that's running against any of these corporate Democrats, all you have to do is play what they said. That's all you have to. That's the best campaign strategy ever.
You know what's beautiful about this too? Guess who you didn't hear him play? Bernie Sanders. Because he's along that same. He's of that same ilk. And you think about it like this. This is what a man looks like because there's reports from his camp that his strategy is not to win the election.
Yes, we know that.
It's to push his issues.
He barely can walk.
Right.
So we know
which is to push his issues, which is anti-interventionism and and impeachment.
Yes,
you know?
Those are his two big.
Those are his two big issues. He's like, get rid of this guy.
He's anti-war, so he's actually in the same vein as Tulsi,
right?
Because Tulsi's thing.
And you didn't see Tulsi on the thing either. Yeah. He probably an admirer.
You talking about the teaser?
He's a progressive. He's a progressive. Yes. This guy's a progressive.
Got you loaded up.
How long is it?
31 seconds.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, this guy's a progressive, and the thing is, he doesn't. He just wants to come in and cause havoc.
Yes.
He wants to back out of this thing and swing votes towards Bernie Sanders.
Yes, or a progressive.
Or a progressive.
Yeah, or a progressive.
But probably Bernie if you want him to count.
Which is the Green New Deal.
And now we buffer.
I don't think that was it, by the way.
That isn't it. That's
wasn't
the same
it.
video we just watched.
No, wasn't it? Yo, that was a video we just watched?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was a piece of that video we just watched.
I'm on his page. This page is wild.
I've been looking for that same video. Like, I've been looking for it. I'm like, where is it?
Right here.
Where'd you find it so I can put it on here?
No, this isn't it either.
But that's pretty sick.
Oh, this is it. Yeah, this is it. It's just, all you have to do is type in Mike Gravel on YouTube. Sorry, y'all. Type in Mike Gravel on YouTube.
Man, bear with us.
And then right here, that's the video right there. The record, Mike Gravel 2020. And
that's okay. Yeah, that's when I saw that one.
Yeah, that's the one.
Is that him and Biden right now?
Yeah, that's Biden right there. And the whole video, the reason it's called record because it's just going through Joe Biden's record.
Yeah, we live, y'all.
Cool.
Let's check this out.
I have the most progressive record of anybody running.
Mr. President, I will vote to authorize the use of military force against Iraq. I do not believe this is a rush to war. I believe it's a march to peace and security.
I do not view abortion as a choice or a right. I do not vote for funding for abortion. The concept of busing, that we are going to integrate people, is a rejection of the whole movement of Black pride.
Both political parties will understand the need for more police officers and more prisoners.
We have predators on our streets. We have no choice but to take them out of society.
I don't think 500 billionaires are the reason why we're in trouble.
The folks at top aren't bad guys. I have the most progressive record of anybody running.
I'm Mike Gravel, and I approve this message.
That was an indictment.
You didn't even have to say anything.
I haven't seen too many like pyre fires in the mini. That was a pyre fire, fam.
Look, check this out, you guys. when the Democrats started running and they saw all these people in the race, they got together, the runners, everybody, and this is my indictment on Bernie Sanders. He agreed with the rest of them, oh, we're not going to come after each other. We're not going to, because really a smear campaign, you can't do nothing but lie on Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
He'd be like, look, y'all, we're coming after y'all because y'all can't come after. That's like an advantage he could use. That's why he needs to take off the gloves. If Bernie, if you're watching the show, take off the gloves, start smacking some of these guys around. But guess who wasn't at that meeting? Mike Gravel, because he's like, I don't give a fuck. I do not. Does it look like I give a fuck?
Yeah.
I'm going to take it directly to you.
Yeah.
You said this, you lied. You said this, you were wrong. And now history is coming up to meet you. And I was there the whole time. I'm as old as all of you.
Yep. Well, he's 80 something. Yeah, Mike Gravel he's older than Bernie and all the motherfuckers.
Right.
Yeah.
I was there for this.
Yeah.
And when I saw it, and I was against you then, and I'm gonna remind you that the bullshit you're trying to pull now, like you're a quote unquote progressive, I'm gonna show you who the progressives were back then.
Biden,
not you.
It definitely wasn't Biden. And Biden reminds me of, like, you know, we all have that friend that, like, it happened today. I had this friend. They posted something about you know, everybody is doing the face, the old people face challenge or whatever.
Yeah.
And the face swap or whatever you want to call it. And so ultimately I knew it was coming because we were doing it, that challenge happened a long time ago, and then people just brought it back, and because I think it got funnier now. It looks better.
It looks a
or
lot
whatever.
better.
It looks a lot better than it was. But okay, so we brought it back, and I remember, and every time people do anything that is fun, there's always this like group of people who feel like they so woke that they gotta shit on you from having fun and try to remind you that you don't know what's going on because you took a minute to have some goddamn fun. So he shared a post that basically said, like, oh well, Russia is Russia has Russia has the face swap or whatever. They're getting all your information. They're getting all your pictures and shit like that, right? And to that I responded, well, Americans own Facebook, they own Snapchat, they own Instagram, they own YouTube. They already have your fucking picture. So what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? And then he responded and was like, that's just something that niggas who participated in it say to not feel stupid or something like that. He said all of this, but keep in mind, he himself participated in it. So I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like I don't understand. So like people like that, they have really short memories, I guess. And they try to act like you forgot until a motherfucker calls them out and be like, wait, I was there with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know what you were about.
My mom would call it matchstick memory.
There you go.
Matchstick memory?
Matchstick memory.
What's that?
Matchstick memory.
Oh, short as a match. Yeah, exactly. When it burned, yeah.
Huh? What? I don't remember that.
Exactly, and that's what Joe Biden is on. He thinking that motherfuckers forgot, but like Childish Gambino said, because of the internet, homie, mistakes are forever.
And not only we have not forgot about forgot about Joe Biden, we haven't forgotten about you, Simone Sanders. Because Simone Sanders, you were Medicare for all, you were all that stuff back in 2016. Now you just came on TV today talking about how lying on something that I know you understand well, which is Medicare for all, and saying that Medicare for all would kick 180 million people off of their health insurance. Yeah, it would kick them off to give them better health insurance. I think everybody's pretty much down with that.
I don't think nobody's getting kicked off. That's not even the back. It's not even. That doesn't even make sense.
It's
Nobody's
not
getting kicked off.
Is the wrong way to say it. They're thinking is insinuating that
there's a lapse. Like there would be a lapse when you don't have.
180 million people will not have health insurance.
Not for one day. If people get health care for all. The way they want to do it is, if I'm not mistaken, it's to start off with like everybody in a certain block. Like everybody that's 65 and older has insurance, and then like the next year, everybody 55 and older gets insurance, and then, you know what I'm saying, and then work their way down. I think that's how they want to do it, right? Yeah. Something like that. I don't think they're just gonna one day just flip it, and then everybody's
it's gonna take 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years or something like that. So I think they're gonna be like from 50 up, everybody will have health insurance. Then from 45 up, everybody on health insurance, and then from 25 up, everybody on health insurance, and then everybody, 0 to 25 on health insurance in 4 years. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
But the thing is, the only thing that I really anticipate in terms of that 4 years, first of all, it's gonna take the people to
Fight for it. Yes.
But secondly, I think that there's going to be a weird premium power play. They're gonna be playing with people's premiums. The first tier come up, 50 and say for instance, 50 and up now has insurance through Medicare. Oh man, look at all the people that we lost private insurance. We're going to use that because private insurance is about everybody in a pool together in the risk assessment, and that determines your premium, right? Oh man, since we have so much less people, we need to make sure that we're still making profits.
Yep.
They're going to raise premiums and co-pays on the people that still have to have insurance.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's
their last gasp to get a handful of money on their way out the door.
Yeah, and to make people, I regret this.
Yeah.
Fighting for Medicare for all, I regret this. I can't pay. The average family right now pays $14,400 per year for medical insurance.
Yeah.
If that goes up to something upwards of $20,000 a year,
nobody will have health insurance. None of those people will be able to afford it.
None of those people will be able to afford it.
People can't afford a $500
And then there's tons of people that
emergency.
can't go a year without their health insurance. So I think there has to be some kind of emergency application that also applies to this situation, because I anticipate a backlash from private insurance companies. There's going to have to be legislation that's put in place along with
a stipend or something like that, just give you some money to help you out. Since you're already getting rid of the private insurance company, while you're getting rid of them, regulate the hell out of them. Yeah, why not?
You know what they'll do? Well, some money's better than no money.
Yeah.
They'll take it.
Yeah,
they'll take
absolutely.
your regulation. They'll be pissed off. They'll fight it every tooth and nail. But if we're gonna do Medicare for all, we might as well be like, look, you guys can't even raise your premiums.
Yeah.
The premium that I got in at, you can't raise that the next enrollment.
How about we going to stop playing with these pre-existing conditions? Because of all the things that piss me off about all healthcare, there should be no reason you should be denied healthcare because of a pre-existing condition.
Medicare for all.
Yeah, Medicare for all. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. We've been like they keep quibbling about this Obamacare shit. The thing about Obamacare that was a major failure, in my opinion, was the fact that people lost their health insurance because they had cancer before they got health insurance. Like that's
his thing, it wasn't in Obamacare. It got rid of the pre-existing conditions. If I'm not correct, right? Like if I'm not mistaken.
Well, Obamacare did say that they couldn't deny you insurance because of pre-existing conditions, but Trump's rollback.
Yeah,
now
that's
Trump's
what I'm
rollback.
saying. He did immediately.
Okay.
What was it? The first year of his term?
Yeah, he did that first 100 days.
Well, I was about to say I thought it was the first 100 days.
The first thing he did before he lost the House of Representatives, along with giving the tax cut, the shit that he knew he needed to hurry up and do.
Which we all know, one of the people says it all the time.
Obama should have done when he first got in. He should have been like Medicare for all and got that shit done the first 100 days, like Bernie will do.
But there was the thing was though, it was a lot of Democrats was not.
No. I know he couldn't have. Well, I think he could have if he'd told the people to get behind him, but he didn't want to do it though.
He was
one of the ones. But say it was like a Bernie Sanders, in 2008, 2009, like that, Bernie Sanders would have had a tough time passing Medicare for all.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Look. If Donald Trump could walk into the office with less than a high school or with a high school education and start writing executive orders, Obama could have done it. Period. Point blank. That's how I've always felt about it. Yeah. I feel like if you were Harvard,
you can't do that with an executive order though.
Yeah, no, he did. That's how Obama got a lot of this shit through.
A lot of
executive orders.
But you can't Medicare.
That's how Trump got the rollback.
Yeah.
It was an executive order.
Yeah. And Obama got.
Trump with the pen, by the way. You can't play him like that.
Yeah,
he don't have
no. Trump went to Wharton.
Yeah, he don't have a degree, bro.
He does have a degree.
No,
Trump has a degree from Wharton Business School for sure, without a doubt.
It's a business school. I'm trying to tell you from like major 4 years. This ain't right now.
It's major. It's major.
His daughter will be the only person with the Trump name that will have a college degree.
Nah, man.
We'll go to the fact check.
That's
I fact checked that one today because they were talking about the fact that he's talking about these people are coming from shitholes and they're uneducated, when in fact Nigerians are 17% of the Nigerians that are here in America have master's degrees compared to the 8% of white people that do. And 7% of the Nigerians have PhDs compared to the 4% of white people that do. And Trump himself is not college educated. I read that myself, and you guys can fact check it if you want, but that was the only person that is on course in the Trump family to actually get a degree is in their second year of college.
Trump went to Fordham University for 2 years. Then he went to Wharton University for 2 years and graduated in 1968. Trump has his degree for sure, without a doubt. He was just pushed through. Wharton is an Ivy League school, so he went to a major school for sure, without a doubt. His daddy got him in. He's an Ivy League school.
You think that his dad was a pretty, you know what? His dad was a pretty staunch businessman. He had over 400, he had millions and millions of dollars.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
you think he was leaving his empire to somebody that could not finish college?
No. He would have, but he was like,
Well, Trump had a brother.
Trump did have a brother. Yeah.
Trump had a brother.
Yeah. True. Yeah, his daddy made sure that he got through college without a doubt. He wasn't gonna.
Even if they had to pay his way through.
Well, that's what he did. He paid his way through college. Trump was
like,
idiot.
even if they had to okay, look, that's Trump's son. Just give him give him a C minus.
If you paid to get through college, I'm still not gonna give you no credit for that.
No, I agree. I'm just saying he went to college, but also George Bush Jr. Graduated from Harvard. Yeah, I was gonna say
sidebar. That's how come you can be like the dumbest conservative ever, but every time someone that is a liberal runs, you know what I mean? They're always looking at like, well, where did he go? Like it's like this over like the Democrats sometimes over intellectualize this thing.
Well, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Give me an example.
Obama went to Harvard,
and
he was the president of the Harvard Law Review.
Right.
But that shit didn't mean a goddamn thing once he became the president, because he wasn't dumb. He was a smart guy. He was articulate and eloquent and all that other stuff. But
that was an African.
It didn't help him become a better legislator or a better chief of staff.
You had a loudmouth that was screaming in the background, like, let's look at his birth certificate. I mean, you got to think, for the first 2-3 years of his presidency, that was a huge thing that Trump was pushing.
But then they pump up a guy like Buttigieg. That's one of the things that Buttigieg was getting momentum behind.
Because he was so smart.
And he knew 5 languages. And he graduated. And he was in the armed forces, which is great. I think that you should at least have a taste of something. Good. There's nothing wrong being in the armed forces, I should say.
Ugh.
There's nothing wrong with it being. There's nothing wrong.
Your face on that.
It can't hurt.
Are you talking about politically speaking?
To be the commander in chief. It does not.
Okay, you mean like just politically speaking?
Right.
Okay. Because I thought you were talking about like morally speaking.
No, it doesn't hurt.
Okay.
But but you look at there's like this little thing on credentials that it just seems like the conservatives do not give a damn about credentials.
No, they don't. No.
Think about John McCain.
There's a
who went to Ann Arbor, right, in Navy, and he finished like second to last in his class at Navy.
Got captured.
After crashed a bunch of planes.
Yep. That's how he got captured.
At least he went.
Right.
George W. Bush didn't even go. He took a picture on the plane and just, I was there.
Oh, Daddy went.
Yeah, Daddy showed him. Daddy shows him.
He was an actual, like, what you would call a war hero.
Who? George H.W.?
Yeah,
George Henry
Walker.
Yeah, George Herbert Walker.
Herbert Walker. Yeah,
he was the man. Like we can
John
say that.
John Kerry,
George Jr. and Jeb.
John Kerry was a little dicey too, because that was kind of what got him torn up when he was running against George W. Was that they pulled his records and found out you really didn't do much. He was a pencil pusher. He was on base, but he was a pencil pusher.
But what it was is he still had that I want to go to war. It made him a warmonger.
It made him a warmonger that didn't participate in the war that he had time to do.
Jumping off the plane, saying mission accomplished, and then we were at war for about 10 more years after that. mission accomplished, and
You
then
don't
we're
wanna put a pause on that for a
he jump
second.
off the George Bush jumping out the airplane, but anyway.
Man. Like, hold up on that banner, dog. We need a little bit of time before we do that. About a decade.
No, mission accomplished.
It's done. We got it done. We got it finished.
We got him.
So yeah, man. I think we got a lot to look forward to coming up here in the next week or so. Though the debates are on the 30th and the 31st, or right, the 30th and the 31st.
Oh, I thought
or
they were like the 27th.
the 29th and the 30th, one of the two.
Is it still? Are we still doing? Are they still doing 2 nights?
It's 2 nights, yeah. It's Tuesday and Wednesday. It's Tuesday and Wednesday. I think it's the 29th and the 30th. Whatever the last Tuesday and Wednesday of the month are, that's when it is. So let's keep an eye on that. Fuck the polls. Don't worry about that. We'll go through that every week. You know, just to kind of just because it's fun. Just you know, maybe we can see Biden slip.
You want to see the score of the ball game?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
But it's so early.
Right.
It's literally like checking the score in like the first quarter. You know, like
Plenty of game left.
Yeah, plenty of game left. Like
First inning of the World Series. It's game one.
You know,
People trying to make
it's so far from over, and we're gonna see a lot of things change. So, any final thoughts?
Hey man, I'm just really excited, but I want to just remind you guys that as we're right here doing this show, and as you're sitting in your house and you probably got your kids with you, and you can kiss them and hold them and things of that nature, there are people that have been separated from their kids simply because they came to America, the supposed land of opportunity, for an opportunity, and because of that they have been stripped of their own, not just their freedom, but they've been stripped of their dignity, they've been stripped of their self-respect, and they've been stripped of their humanity. And so before you lay your head down, you know, first of all, be grateful. You know what I mean? I don't, you know, if there's a God you pray to, whatever, be grateful. You know what I mean? That, you know, you're not in that situation yourself, but also be mindful, because if we live in a country where they're taking away the human right, they're abusing the human rights of some people, then one day it could very well be your rights that are being abused. And so we cannot stand for that. Let your voice be heard. Don't be afraid to have the tough conversations, and don't be afraid to, you know, maybe send a letter to your congressman, or hold your